Welcome to this episode of MOCAPTV. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Brad Sanker. In this episode of MOCAPTV, we take a look at the hazard of laser pointers for aircraft, and CAP members from St. Louis get an up-close look at the Solar Impulse aircraft. These stories and more are coming up on MOCAPTV. At the national headquarters, the staff has released new changes and updates to a few regulations. CAP Regulation 50-17 Senior Member Professional Development Program has updated references to how AU tests are administered. They've moved the Jaeger Award from Level 4 to Level 3, and changes were made for Level 5 activities to be a mentoring responsibility. CAP Regulation 66-1 provides new updates on maintenance requirements and inspection criteria. CAP Regulation 160-1, Operation of CAP Health Services Program, has been introduced with changes replacing the old Emergency Data Card CAP Form 60 with the Form 160 CAP Member Health Form and CAP Form 161 Emergency Information Form. In addition, the Form 162 CAP Member Physical Exam Form and CAP Form 163 Permission for Provision of Minor Cadet Over-the-Counter Medication Form have been introduced. And finally, CAP Regulation 190-1 Civil Air Patrol Public Affairs Program addresses requirements for maintenance and updates to websites, guidelines for posting on personal social media accounts, and streamlines the application process for the Balsam Award. You can find all of these changes on the national website www.capmembers.com under the tab Forms, Publications, and Regulations. Major General Chuck Carr, National Commander, is calling on all wings to secure co-sponsorship from at least 70% of the state's congressional delegation for the Congressional Gold Medal Campaign. The House currently has 171 of the 290 required minimum sponsors needed to vote. So far, for Missouri, none of the state's representatives have co-sponsored the bill. You can help with this campaign by contacting your representative by phone or email and requesting they sponsor the bill. For the House, the bill is H.R. 755. A link to the House is listed below. How about this next story for bragging rights? The members of the Fort Leonard Wood Composite Squadron embarked on a model rocketry competition. Over the past few weeks, the members have meticulously built, painted, and detailed their aircraft for presentation to local soldiers and Marines in training at the Army Post. Each member presented their aircraft and also delivered a detailed presentation about the awesome piece of machinery their model represented. Congratulations to Cadet Chief Master Sergeant Patrick Lucet, who took first place in the competition, followed by Cadet Airman Catherine DeClerc, the second, and Cadet Staff Sergeant Nelson Cullen in third. Not every model presented was a working aircraft. Check out the detail on these amazing models. I hope to still be around when we see them become reality. This next story was brought to our attention by David Chelinsky of the Gateway Senior Squadron. Laser strikes are a serious safety concern for pilots. A laser strike occurs when someone intentionally aims a laser at a low-flying aircraft. Unfortunately, the reported incidence of lasers pointed at aircraft is on the rise. What may seem harmless on the ground from several miles away is a serious hazard and violates federal law. To prepare pilots for the possibility of a laser illumination, members of Missouri Wing's Gateway Senior Squadron were recently briefed by Peter Durinsky, a technical fellow from Boeing Company. Exposure to a laser strike may cause glare and temporary visual impairment similar to a camera flash from a few feet away. During a critical phase of flight, such as an approach to landing, this can distract a pilot. FAA flight simulator studies have shown that pilots are most affected during nighttime hours when the eyes are adapted to low-level light. Most people creating these laser strikes do not realize the hazard they are creating for the pilots and passengers. A small distraction during a critical phase of flight can have a dire consequence. The availability of powerful green laser pointers on the internet has greatly contributed to the number of laser strikes in the last few years. Nearly 95% of the laser events in the FAA database come from green lasers. This is significant because the wavelength of most green lasers is close to the eye's peak sensitivity when they are dark adapted. A green laser may appear as much as 30 times brighter than a red laser of equal power output. As a pilot, here are a few steps that you can take to prevent the hazard. Turn up the interior lighting to minimize illumination effects of the laser. If possible, have the person in the right seat take control of the aircraft. Shield your eyes with a clipboard, visor, your hands, or other items in the cockpit. Set the aircraft to autopilot if you have it available. If you would like more information about the steps that you can take to minimize the effects of laser illumination, the FAA has a video and additional information on their page. You can also find a link in the description below. A piece of aviation history made a stop in St. Louis this past week at Lambert Airport, and CAP members were on hand to get a private visit with the pilots. In celebration of Solar Impulse's historic solar-powered cross-country flight and arrival in St. Louis, members of the Missouri Wing met privately with the pilots Andre Brochberg and Bertrand Piccard. The visit was arranged by Gateway Senior Squadron. Lieutenant Colonel Carolyn Rice, the commander of the squadron, presented the pilots with a certificate of accomplishment, a Missouri Wing Challenge coin, wing patches, and squadron patches. The certificate specifically honors the men and women of Solar Impulse who have expanded the frontier of knowledge in material science, energy management, aerospace education, and aviation. During the visit, Lieutenant Colonel Rice noted the personal visit with the pilots was absolutely beyond awesome. According to the Solar Impulse website, their primary objective is to showcase technological innovations allowing day and night solar-powered flight without using fuel or producing polluting emissions. Solar Impulse is first and foremost an extraordinary human and scientific adventure that brings emotions back to the heart of scientific exploration. An experimental journey to inspire others to be pioneers and innovators in their everyday life. At some point, you've probably seen that annoying pop-up on e-services telling you that you're overdue for a safety briefing. Many members ask why a monthly safety briefing is so important. Well, that's actually a simple answer. The more you repeat something, the more it becomes habit. Safety awareness is part of everything we do. A school crossing sign on your way to work, roadwork signs in construction zones, warnings on simple office equipment. All of these serve as a reminder for safety. Chances are, if there's something telling you to be safe, then someone has already made the mistake before you. So the next time you get that pop-up, take a few minutes to complete the briefing, ace the test, and then move on to whatever you were looking for on e-services. Now, if you're sitting there wondering what is e-services, you better give someone a call to help you out. Thank you for watching this episode of MOCAPTV. We invite you to leave comments and tell us what you think about the show. If you would like to be part of the show, we would love to include you in the next episode. If you've got a topic that you'd like to discuss, you can reach us at MOCAPTV at mowg.cap.gov. For all of us at MOCAPTV, thanks for watching.